See if we can get him work up. Now you know how to look at the well, you use your phone, right? Let's see here. Okay, that was weird. I guess I have to send another one. Hold on a second, people. We just had it just now. Just had it. Hey, were you good? It just booted you out? Did it boot you out? Okay, try it again. I just resent the link to you. Okay. You back on?
Yep.
All right, word. Okay. So I got another problem here. Okay, there it is. Well, it's kind of working a little bit. What's going on, Southern Boss Lady? Hope all is well. Hope all is well. So,
Oh, you got Southern Boss Lady on here, huh?
yeah, she's up in here. Yeah, she's always pretty active in the, in the chat and everything. Let me, well, I could share it on Facebook. Let me share it to these people that I cooperate with on a daily basis real quick. In the meantime, man, just go ahead and tell us about yourself a little bit,
Oh, okay, all right. So I was introduced, at 10 years old to to the JW when I was in Los Angeles, and my mom was like inactive for like 8 years, and we was off and on. And I kind of knew about it a little bit. Then so she decided my grandmother had went from a Baptist to a JW, so she wanted to move to New York. Get back in, I never really kind of understood that, so we moved up to Newburgh, New York, right there near Walk Hill, the Watchtower Farm, and all that. And that's when the indoctrination got real. You know what I'm saying? Started getting back into it, stopped celebrating the holidays. So I kind of already knew about the outside world.
Yeah.
So it got to the point, going up to the Walk Hill and going up to visiting Watchtower Farm make you want to do it. And, this is what young brothers do and all that. And I realized I was getting the chains ready for enslavement, you know what I'm saying, around my neck and my ankles. And
yeah,
I wanted to do it. So to make a long story short, 16, moved to South Carolina and, got into it and wanted to get baptized and all that stuff and all that crap and mess. And the whole time realizing you really ain't had no friends, you know what I'm saying? I'll go and do something. And if you do a little more than your other friend, they'll go rat on you to the elders and all that. I never understood that bullshit. So anyway, me and my friend got baptized, tried to pioneer and thing and all that. So started doing that, started realizing, you know, the other pioneers, like, let me show you how real pioneers go out in service and all that. And I thought that was kind of odd, man. So, you know, going through it, I started noticing weird stuff, you know. So I'm like, man, we doing just as bad as the people we claim to be worldly. You know, going to the assemblies and stuff. We finding clubs and stuff to go to. At the assembly, me and my homeboy, we out at the clubs hunching and bumping and then sleeping at the assembly Saturday and Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Then kind of find out we wasn't the only ones doing it. It was some elders telling us their little secrets. I'm like, well, dang, well, man, we ain't no different than nobody else.
Well, you know, when people see
so,
this, I had to cut you off right now. You know, when people see this, they're probably gonna be like, well, you know, that stuff doesn't go on in Jehovah's organization. Jehovah's organization is pure. You know, I never, when you first told me that stuff, because like I was like one of the ones that, you know, never did really, you know, like I was the ones that was kind of like goody two shoes. You know, I never did have a person I was looking forward to in the organization. I never did date or so-called date. You know, you're not supposed to date, but you know how they have somebody that you're trying to get with. Like, you know, I was kind of like on the outside, very naive, didn't know that a lot of stuff was going on. But when you first told me this stuff, like, I was like, really? All that stuff went on? I heard rumors and stuff like that, you know, from...
well, I was one of those rumors. No, but man, I was kind of my homeboy, man. Really catch nobody didn't really catch us, man, because I was the same way with some elders that was pioneers and with the better talking about. We used to be like, yeah, man, we had drinks in the room. It was like, was it Kool-Aid y'all was drinking? And we was like, no, they was like, because it sure wasn't Kool-Aid we was drinking. So me and my homie was saying we ain't the only ones going to the assemblies getting drunk and going out to clubs. But we just never saw nobody else doing it because me and him stayed ourselves because we knew anybody else would tail and rat on us. But yeah, man, I started thinking then like, man, what the heck? Like, we all out here doing the same thing, and then you out here trying to condemn people to hell when basically that's where you going if you doing the same thing. So, you know what I'm saying? And then as time went on, you get older, you know, you start noticing stuff, man. You know, to make a long story short, man, I started seeing all the lies and stuff the elders would be telling, and then you really don't have no friends because the elder come to you and confide in me, but they ain't gonna tell you whatever you confide in me. I got to go tell the presiding overseer till you keep digging. I'm like, well, there really ain't no confidentiality if you got to go. I don't even like the presiding overseer in our congregation, so we'll be telling him my personal business, but that's procedure. You know what I'm saying? And I started being like, man, that's some BS, man. Like, what? And, you know, this is just, to make a long story short, going to some more extensive experiences, this really got me. I was like, you know, brothers, I'm working hard. I don't think I want to be a minister. No, what? You don't want to be a minister? Serving them, brother. You got to be doing something wrong, brother. Let's get it out of you. You got to be screwing around, hunching or humping or something. I'm like, man, I'm tired. Like, I'm working 2 jobs. I'm the only one working. Brother, you got to be doing something wrong to not want to be a minister. Servant. And I'm like, man, what are y'all talking about? Like, I mean, they was up there sweating, trying to bring the demons out of my balls, man. I'm like, man, what are y'all talking about? I'm like, it's like y'all trying to get me to say that I'm doing something wrong to not make the organization look bad. You know what I'm saying? So finally, I was just like, man, you know what? It's just a time. And I was well, if I felt that way, I wouldn't want to do it either. And I'm like, man, what the hell is this? Like, y'all trying to get me to confess to something I ain't done. So y'all already had me figured out, or already figured I was doing something wrong anyways. I was just like, man, you know what? I'm over that, like, bump all y'all. And they will lie. Somebody come there with a bunch of money. Something went down, and this guy wasn't even a brother yet. He wasn't even baptized. And they tried to persuade him to pick the punishment for us. And when his daughter said she wasn't even offended by whatever they were trying to accuse us of. And he was like, well, they ain't done nothing wrong to me. And he came and told me everything.
Go ahead.
Because I know he tried to get him.
It was the 3-finger thing, right? Y'all were taking pictures or something like that? Like,
yeah, it was 3 this meant 3 friends because we was all close. You know, I came out here from New York and I found 2 friends at the congregation I was close to. So, you know, we would never really tell nobody what it meant. So somebody goes and tells them, oh, it mean to help a girl masturbate. I mean, that's the most far-fetched thing that, I mean, the girl who said it wasn't even attractive anyway. She was, so we wouldn't even did that to her way. She didn't believe that they looking on the inside. They trying to find what the symbol mean of 3 fingers. I'm like, look at these idiots, man. These fucking bozos. They running around trying to find, but we telling them all it meant was us 3. But no, they don't want to take that. They want to find something that's so stupid and hideous to get us in trouble. That's what really got me, man. I was like, you know what? Y'all a bunch of clowns.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so. I mean, it's so ridiculous, man. I mean, it was so ridiculous. So
my thing is this: they're so
Go ahead.
busy. They're so busy looking at symbolism. They need to go back to this finished mystery with the winged sun on the front. That's some symbolism for the asses.
Exactly. Exactly. That, I mean, that's really what you see, the symbol on the Anunnaki. I mean, really, that's what you see if you go back and look that up.
Yeah. Yeah, everything is connected. But anyway, for those of you who do not know, that hey Pinky look, but for those of you who do not know, the way that me and Essex Smith way that we met was actually through, he saw one of my videos, and it's a real small world, but apparently, okay, my dad, I think I elaborated a little bit on my older videos about this. My dad is into entertainment, and he used to do a lot of shows for the friends, like weddings, anniversaries, just gatherings, stuff like that. He used to sing. And so actually my dad was he was the master of ceremonies for your wedding, correct? When you were in
yeah, sure it was.
Yeah, so that's how we connected. And actually I was like a little, around that time. I think it was like when 96, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like 96. Yeah, I was 21.
Man, time flies by. And so do you have any regrets, brother, from it's from leaving the truth? You have any regrets or anything like that?
Do I have any regrets?
Yeah, you miss Jehovah. You miss Jehovah.
I'm gonna say it like this one time, and I think everybody gonna get the how I feel about regrets. Hell to the no.
No, Bishop Book, straight up Bishop Book. Had to turn this fan off, get a little cold up in here. Sit here shivering. It was Amber thing said you did not say the truth. I can't call it the truth. I'm sorry, I can't.
Man,
I can't say that.
yeah, I mean, nah, man, and I kind of look at it in a positive spin on it. The edge, the learning part of it, the learning to be able to avert somebody else from getting into this BS. As far as that concerned, yeah. But other than that, man, my mom asked me, "You mean you don't?" When I first stopped going, "You mean you don't miss none of the friends?" I said, "Man, listen, I found out they were my friends no damn way. So nope, I don't miss nobody. I don't miss nothing about it. No field service. I don't give a damn about the good times I laughed and giggled. I don't miss none of that. I don't even reminisce about it. I don't miss nothing. When I really found out." Before I left, I found out the BS. I know I wasn't going back. I was like, man, all y'all fucking fake. I think I pretty much called all of them fake, man. I was like, man, all y'all fake, man. Like, you know what? I stopped missing them before I even left. So I knew I didn't miss nobody. Or I didn't miss nothing. I don't care what kind of so-called friendships I had. I do not miss it.
Yeah.
No, it did too much hurt than it did good.
Yeah, and I mean, my thing, like, like I talked about in my last video, is that the crazy thing is that I have, like, people that's disfellowship that's like shunning me. It's not so much as the ones in the hall. It's just I just find it a little bit awkward that people that still that do disfellowship, they still shun me, and I'm like, wow, like for real.
And that's crazy.
It is. It really is, and I mean, it's just crazy how like they can still have that hold on them, like. The thing that they use, these people that do this to me, not that I really care. I mean, they're the ones that's missing out on my life. But the thing that gets me about them is that they're like, oh, well, I can't live this life, but, you shouldn't talk about it. You shouldn't be so gun-ho. Why are you so angry about it? And I mean, what's crazy about it is, okay, I'm up here talking about child sex abuse and it's wrong, and y'all are sitting up here getting mad at me and upset at me about it. Like, let's get real, people. You know, child sex abuse is wrong. It's wrong to molest children. And I'm sitting up here telling you all about an organization that's stonewalling this, hiding information, not withholding things from the authorities, and y'all are getting upset with me because I'm bringing it out. Where's the logic in this? I don't understand it.
That's what gets me too, man. Because I mean, they get mad at you for bringing out something that's bad news, but yet it's true. But you can sit right up there. This is how I get my mom. I'll be like, yeah, you heard about the Catholic Church? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They so bad. I said, but you know what? That also happened in the Jehovah's Witness organization too. Yeah, did you see
Oh,
that
you don't say
on the
that.
news about that? Well, Jehovah gonna fix it all in the end. No, he gonna fix y'all asses right now too, the same way that he
Yeah,
fixed their asses. Like they don't. The
my cousin
connection
got
with them is,
upset.
oh, Jehovah's gonna fix it in the
Like my cousin,
end.
she got
But when
upset
it's
because I did that, because I used to post a
Mhm.
thing on Facebook called Religious BS. And so, any topic where it deals with children or crimes dealing with religion, I used to post it. And it was like she got upset because I posted what the witnesses did, that elder just molested, just got indicted for molesting a child. And it's like, why did you post that? Like, okay, this is a crime. Why are you getting so upset with me? Like, I just, aside from all the Jehovah and Jesus and all that other stuff, let's look at what's going on here now. There are crimes being committed right now. Why are you getting mad at me because I'm telling people about it? It don't make no kind of sense. It doesn't.
Yeah, man, it just behooves me, man. Like the disconnect that they have when you mention something bad about them, but they can be just talking about other religions. And I'm like, but what's the point of having the authorities put into places? They always like to use that, the superior authorities put in place. Okay, well, what's the point of having that for crime? And what's the point of reaping what you sow? And how many occasions did you hear in the Bible and stories where people paid for it back then? How many scriptures say ancient world was not held back from punishment? I
Yeah.
mean, come on, man. Did they wait for the end to then? No, them people dead and gone, and they got whipped and punished right then and there when they did the crime. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. But, you know, I just had a point. I just lost it. But my thing is that, you know, the whole thing about what we was talking about earlier about how, I think, did I tell you about how the Bible is, the whole publishing company Zondervan, I think we was talking about earlier today, how
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah. We
very
was talking about that earlier.
company, the very entity that publishes the Bible, like the owners, I think one of his name is Robert Murdoch. He owns some type of porno sites and stuff like that. See, now we're going to be getting into some deeper stuff. How do you feel about that? About the publishing companies, the owners, people that had their hands in producing the Bible, not just with Watchtower, because I think Watchtower, they do their own little stuff, but still they derive their stuff from the King James. They just change the words a little bit. But nowadays you have publishing company Zondervan. One of the owners has ties um, to some pornography and stuff. And this very entity, this very person, this individual is producing Bibles. How do you feel about that?
Man, I feel like, in my opinion, it's big business and it's big money, man. And people like that know people are gonna go they're gonna buy Bibles and all that. That's just like I'm not gonna really like name a lot of these like uh rappers or whatever, and then all of a sudden when their career goes down, they start trying to get in the gospel because they know it's money. They ain't doing it for free.
Fact.
You know what I'm saying? They ain't out here getting in the gospel to change people or to come into the Lord. They still doing it for money, man, and they know that brings in money. A lot of these rap stuff, when they start talking about God and all that, they know that's going to draw people, and they're not going to not get paid off those albums and songs because they sing about the Lord, are they? No, I just think, man, they just do it, because people don't care. I mean, they can be doing anything out there. It's the Lord, but the Lord though. And I feel like, man, they do it. It's a money thing, man. That's what I feel. It's a money thing. It ain't like they trying to change nobody's heart. They still doing the same thing they doing. It ain't like they trying to bring nobody to Christ. They trying to bring somebody to their label and name, so they can make money off of it. Like they just, people
It's
just
like
use it
make
and
billions of dollars
start
off of it.
making.
Yeah, like they make billions of dollars off of it, and it's like it's just wild at how you have people really, if you really think about it, your average person, when you talk with them, they're like, okay, well, this book is holy, but your average person doesn't even read the first like 3 pages of the book and actually like really looks at the very beast that is producing this information. What is their ties? What do they do? Is that person is the owner of the publishing company that is bringing forth this information? Is he really pure or not? What does he do? But here it is. We have text that's being produced by people who don't really even, are not even really religious at all. In a sense, they, like I said, they have their ties in Fox News, all these other types of entities.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's funny because even like as a JW man, we used to go out and field service, knocking on doors, man. I'll never forget this preacher was talking about how he went to preacher school and all that. And he was like, man, I don't believe none of this that I'm teaching. He said, it's just, I know I can make a lot of money off of it. I've had like a couple of preachers tell me that straight off the bat. Like they went to preaching school or whatever they went to learn, and they said, I don't really believe it. It's just that I know you can make a lot of money off of it. And I'm sure just those couple of people in this little small town ain't the only ones who feel that way.
Right. And sad to say that is mostly, sad to say is mostly us, African, American Africans, is mostly us. We like to hear good music and everything like that. And people, they'll try to do, it's a hustle. Like a lot of people know that, okay, this stuff is not really totally accurate or it's not the truth. A lot of people, they do know that. But what they do is that they know that it brings in money, it brings in people, and you get a crowd. You get so much good stuff, kind of like in the Watchtower. Watchtower has a lot of things to offer for you. If you've been a low life, in particular, well, I can't use this guy as an example, Daryl Wildberg, because they don't like him. But if you have something that is like, if you never did get anywhere in life, and then here it is, you can come into Watchtower. You can have a chance to give public talks. You can have a chance to speak to crowds of people. You can have a chance to hear people's claps after you give a speech. What person has that opportunity? And so then what these religious entities do is that they play on a person of wanting to be popular, wanting to be wanted. Everybody wants fame and glory. And it says that's what it is. A person can be a window washer or they can be a janitor. And they could be giving speeches in front of thousands and thousands of people just for going out and field service, going from door to door every single day. That's what it is, the hustle, and giving their money to this organization. And that's the crazy thing about it. It has a lot of opportunities, even though it's all BS and everybody knows that it's BS. So, do you agree? How do you feel about it?
Man, that's
Person can do this.
You know what that sound like? You know what that sound like? What good is it for a man to gain the whole world but lose his soul? That you're doing the same thing in power. You're gaining all that fame and fortune, but you ain't gaining no money unless you up top. But you're losing your damn family and you're losing your soul. It's the same thing.
But hey, you get up there, you get to drink though. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get to live wild. I mean, look at Tony Morris. He's up there buying alcohol. $850 worth. He's it's like we got Jumanji the Pharisee in the house.
Oh man.
Oh my goodness. Yo, like for real though, that doggone video with him going in on Daryl, like that thing is funny as I don't know what. But
Man.
I'm not gonna make this whole entire video about this person, but you know,
Yeah.
'cause like the elders say, you're not supposed to spend 10 seconds. I mean, not 10 seconds, but 60 seconds on this individual. But like, we're trying to get him to do uh, a video chat like this one right here. We're trying to get him to do that, and he's so focused on this Pal Talk app, you know. And so I logged into the Pal Talk and I found his group and I sent a message and it's set on private. So, you know, he tells me, he's like, well, we don't want you in that group. He said, I don't want you to come in my group. I said, but yet you just invited me to your group, but yet you're telling me that you don't want me in this group. So my thing is like, I was just wanting to see what he wants to, you know, to try to get him to do something. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm trying to get your YouTube popping, dude, and you don't want to jump into the, you know, you don't want to take on this opportunity. Bump that Pal Talk. Who that nobody don't get up on that. You know, come up here in a controlled environment with a couple of other seasoned XJWs and see how you fare up in there. You know, but honestly, I just look at this person as somebody that has a mental problem. You know, like he really does.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, so I remember one time you were telling me about a gathering, and this is filter off on this channel. We putting everything on the map about the crazy stuff that went on Watchtower. So you was telling me about the gathering. What happened at this gathering? I think y'all were doing some kind of play or something like that. Please tell the viewers about it. You know,
Oh,
this is how crazy Watchtower is.
man.
You know?
Yeah, man, I mean, they gonna get a kick out of this one, man. Like, I got some the most ridiculous stories that I was just like, really? So, it was a friend of mine and two other young brothers. They was doing a little dance. It might have been 112 only you know what I'm saying? Oh, why we don't know. And they was in there doing a little dance routine. So after the routine, you know, we got back to our hometown, and the elders called my friend in the back room, was like, yeah, brother, we've got wind that y'all were doing the routine, and we were concerned about we heard about you had a Peter print in front of your pants, brother. But we need to counsel you on your Peter print. So he was like, what? A Peter print? Like, who the heck was looking at the front of my pants like that? Who was worried about what was sticking out of my pants? I mean, what chapter? I mean, what book of the Bible did they look at? 2 Peter or 1 Peter? I mean, man, and we laughed so hard at the foolishness and ridiculousness of it. How you gonna counsel somebody on a Peter print? Like, what y'all looking there for anyway? I'm like, man, are you freaking kidding me, man?
That's crazy.
Oh my God, man. I'm like, man, they try to control every single thing, man. Like really, dude? Like, they try to control everything. What, brother? We got you see you have a deep wedgie, brother. We need to address your wedgie. Like, come on, man. Like, really?
That's just absurd right there. Really
I
absurd.
can't make this stuff up, man. I cannot make this stuff up.
Margie said that's so crazy. Yeah, that's really wild. So now that you are out, like, what's your life like now? Has your life gone to shambles like they usually say that it usually goes to, or your life like?
Man, from the time I stopped going, I was feeling better and didn't even know why I was feeling better. Man, you know what I'm saying? I had a chance to expand my brain and my knowledge, man. I became an inventor, man. I invented my own fitness equipment, man. I was a personal trainer for 7 years, man. I went around in gyms training people, man. I've experienced so much.
Second, Jumanji said somebody can make a covenant with their eyes looking. Oh, man. That was funny right there.
Oh man.
But continue. You can go a little bit more.
Man, you know, man, and it even come full circle around, man, you know, working with students, man, like in the after school leadership program, you know, I play a big part of that, man. We getting the campus built out there, man. And man, it's just, I've been so free to use my brain instead of being in that mental prison, man. And once you realize the mental prison they put you on, especially for a black person, man, you know, that's what getting me, man, you know, especially for a black person, you know, it's like they whitewash everything down and don't want you to know who you are, don't want you to be smarter than them and all that stuff. And they feel threatened when you a smart black man in that organization, really, unless you a coon.
As though, and I know we talked about this before, you feel as though like the organization doesn't really want African, excuse me, I've trained myself to say American Africans, but American Africans to know of their descent, their history.
Exactly, because that's probably bringing too much attention to yourself, you know, not the governing bozos up there, man. Let me just tell you this story one time. This is another crazy story. I think people are going to get something out of this. So, you know, I started noticing, you know, a lot of the black sisters, you know, they would want me to study with their children, right? But I noticed they would only come ask me to study with their children after the white brothers shitted them and didn't never show up because they had to go to Greece and they had to go to Hawaii on their trips. So then they would come ask me as like the second, you know, it's like the second hand food. So, you know, I told one of them, I said, you know what? I said, I can't study with your son. I said, that's unfair. I said, now you went out there and you got the white brother was spiritual because they got money and all that. I said, then he came in here and showed you that he wasn't worth a damn. I said, oh, then you want to come back to the black brother and ask me to study with your son. I said, see that? And she was like, you know what, Jerome? She said, you know what? She said, you right. She said, and I'm sorry if you felt that way. I said, yeah, that's how it is. She said, you know what? I never even looked at it like that. She said, but you're right. I said, man, I can't do that. I said, man, I said, oh, now you want to come back to the black brother and want me to study with your son after you done put the white brother ahead of me because you thought he was more spiritual because they had money and they father was an elder and all that, but you find out he wasn't worth a damn. Now you want to come to me. And then if I don't be showing up, you want to talk down to me like as if I ain't worth a damn. I was like, nope, I ain't doing it. I was like, for that matter right there, I can't do it.
We have...
Yeah, I mean, that's ridiculous.
Hold on, Jerome. We have Pinky LeBlue. She said it felt like a 10-ton weight had been lifted when she left the organization. Southern Boss Lady says they have lost their minds in the Oregon code. True A and R. That's Eddie. He says J-Dubs need your training. Bad, bro. All my old friends popping up with diabetes, meds, and high blood pressure pills. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Now, I don't want to get too far off topic, and I'm gonna say this, and then you can continue. But it's not really funny. It's really sad. But I just remember at my own grandfather's funeral, like so many people got up with when they had a announcement. You know, this is during a repast when they said everyone who has diabetes, you can get up. Now, all the ones who have diabetes, you eat first. And everybody just got up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I really do hate that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but you know, I just feel like that was just really crazy. You know. But you can go ahead.
Yeah, that's yeah, I mean, you know, man, you know, it's funny how I thought about that, man. And, you know, one time we was all going out, man. And one time the elders tried to pit us against each other. Two of us, you know, our fathers or our mothers weren't no pioneers or elders. And there was two of our other friends whose dad was a minister, serving, one was an elder. So they would go to the ones whose parents had positions and tell them, you know, to watch us, you know, don't fall influence to us because, you know, our parents ain't have no kind of position in the kingdom. So being us friends, you know, they would come back and tell us this. And I'm like, man, really, man? Oh, so because y'all dad and stuff got a position or your mama pioneer, that make y'all more spiritual than us? And I used to be like, man, and the elders would go behind our back and actually do that, or, you know, go and spy on Essex, you know, to see if he's doing any wrong. Then when you get to, oh, no, we don't police y'all. No,
like, seven on you.
Yeah, man, like Inspector Gadget. Like, you know what I'm saying, man? It's like, man, come on, man. Like, really? And, you know, they try to be underhanded and sneaky with it and try to be so sneaky. And then the people who who they would tell were more friends with me than they were with the elders, they would come right back and tell me, man. And so we have an elderman, I go right back and say, such and such told me y'all did this. You know, the mug sat right up there and lied to my face. Oh, I didn't say it. Oh, I didn't do it. And this was hours after it happened. Or the next day. And I'm like, they will lie. A circuit overseer said once, told somebody some personal information and said, now if y'all tell that I said this, he said I was I didn't say it. Boy, little we know he was not playing.
Well,
He was not lying about
thing that happened
he
with
was not lying.
and you know who, I didn't mean to cut you off, but you know who I'm talking about. The situation with old boy, when he told he caught the elder going into a strip club / porn shop, and he told him, say, if you tell the brothers I'm gonna kill you, you tell the brothers I'm gonna kill you. That's what he told him. And so obviously he didn't kill him. He told him anyway. But this is the thing, like, these people are so-called supposed to be appointed by Jehovah and all this other stuff. They're just human beings, just like how you have Tony Morris going to Luke's. They're just human beings. There's nothing special about them. They go on lie just to keep their position. They're going to do that.
I mean, it's what used to get me, man, is how it's all about the organization, But if you can show them something point blank in the scriptures, and this is what got me, but is it what the organization teach? And I'm like, okay, but ain't the organization supposed to be from God and supposed to be following the Bible? That's the first thing they say. Yeah, but what you're showing us is it what the organization teach? And I'm like, it don't matter what the organization teaches. It's in the scriptures, ain't it? I know, but does the organization teach it? And if you stick with that, oh, well, are you an apostate? And I used to be like, and this is why people want to commit suicide and stuff, because it's like, okay, y'all supposed to be upholding the truth and all that, but really you upholding lies. And then, it's like, oh, we can't condemn y'all for wrongdoing, but you can condemn everybody else under you. You see? And that's why at 14, now I understand why that made me suicidal. When the fruits that Watchtower produce in your parents and your family, and you young and you waking up, you're like, well, hold up. That's the stuff, man, that confuses kids and young ones. It's like, well, ain't I supposed to be doing the right thing? But, oh, it's not doing the right thing when I'm coming after you and your wrongdoing. Now, oh, I'm supposed to shut up. And you say, man, that's the confusion that it causes, man, in the BS, man. That's why I really, man, that's what really makes me angry about it, man. And that's what really,
I had a suicide issue. Mainly mine was a bunch of stuff here that, God was going to kill me, and I was living wrong. What am I going to do with my life? Because let's just face it, when a person leaves the organization, they had something that they left behind they didn't get to do. Then that stuff is going to be weighed on a person's heart, especially as a young American African. That kind of does. It's already hard on blacks as it is. And then we're taught not to go to college, not to get a degree. We can't even serve in the military. If we're athletic, we can't even go and, pursue extracurricular activities to try to, maybe discover a talent that we have. And they make it really hard on us. And already as a youth, and this is just how I grew up, I didn't think I had any history beyond slavery. And I think Southern Boss Lady is talking about this now. She read the book How to Make a Negro a Christian, and I read that book a little bit. But as growing up, we see pictures of nothing but white people in Bible times, in history. The only time when we actually see an African is when they're talking about the Ethiopian eunuch, who is a castrated, that is basically what that means is he can't have kids, can't reproduce, basically a slave, basically a house Negro in a sense. And that's the only thing that they really elaborate on. That's the only thing that we're only fed. We're not told about, the Commission / Egyptian. A lot of people don't know the difference between all of that, and everything like that. It takes some study in order to learn who the Egyptians actually were, what descent they were. But we're not taught all this stuff. We're not taught that a lot of these places there were blacks involved in all of this. But when they show us these pictures, we see nothing but Caucasians. And it's not so much as being racist, but this is supposed to be true. It's supposed to be accurate. You're supposed to have an accurate representation of the actual events, which took place. And Watchtower fails to do that. And given that they have a past in how they used to talk about black people, about how, you know, that the Ethiopian skin will be made white as we're impure. And then they don't even go to correct this matter. They don't even do that. They just say now, well, it used to be believed that the Ethiopian was cursed from Ham, that his skin was cursed as black. This is wrong. Okay, they don't say that we once believed this, but now we changed it. Watchtower never admits that they're wrong, never does. And this is the issue. And as a person, you know, it affects me a lot. I don't like seeing actually black JW. I use the word black, but that's just according to today's vernacular. I don't like seeing them come to my door because I feel as though, like, look, you're being robbed of your history. You don't know your history. You don't know what this organization has been teaching. You don't know what they've been talking about. And it really is. And I'm pretty sure you have the same views. You can elaborate a little bit about that more, because I'm getting riled up.
Yeah, man, like for real, like that's what I was telling you. That's what I started realizing when, you know, the black sister are gonna come to me after you know, they put the white brother ahead of me, you know, and I started seeing that, man. It's like you know, you be in a car group talking, you like, yeah, man, I was studying this the last, you know, tonight, and then your mom or something be like, hold now, when they start realizing, hold now, don't study too much, you know you can be too smart. Man, really, dog, like, really, like, you can't go ahead of the governing body. Wait a minute, who's the governing body? A bunch of white men and one coon. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I can't be smarter than them. Like, I can't go, you know, like, man, get out of here, man. Are you stupid? Like, you know, and I've been told this several times, not just from my mom, you know, I start talking about stuff I'm studying. Hold now. Now, what was you studying? Was it what the organization teach? Now, make sure you don't go ahead of the organization. And I used to be like, man, how is that? Like, oh, so if I'm smart in the organization, I'm an apostate then, right? You know what I'm saying? Then
you're running ahead. Yeah, you're not supposed to.
Yeah.
I guess Mormons can be accused of the same because they be on bikes and stuff. They run ahead of God all the time. Yeah.
You know, man, it's just the ridiculousness I started saying. But let me tell people this, man. Like, this right here really hit me. Certain things that really hit me. Like, I didn't stop going to the hall like because I was doing all this back research, man. It wasn't even that, man. It was something physical that hit me, man. 3 times. Like, when I really stopped going, but I was forcing myself to go. I went one time, perfectly healthy, went worked out, felt good. Got in there and got sick, got nauseated. Was like, dang, man, like, man, I know I was feeling good. So, you know, I stayed there the whole time, man. I had to, you know, I had a bowel movement. I had to go to the bathroom. So I'm like, dang. So I was like, okay. So, you know, I said, well, let me go this second time. I said, okay, meet number 2. I caught it. I was mindful. I started becoming mindful of it. So I said, man, I feel good, man. I ain't ate no salsa, no pecani sauce. I ain't ate no burritos, no refried beans. So I feel good. Went in there, man. This was the second meeting. I was like, dang, like, why I get hot all of a sudden? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, I'm hot, man. Like, I'm like, man, my stomach hurt and I can hardly breathe. So I was like, so I left the meeting early. The last time, the third time, was when they were still having the book study. Went to a book study, man. This right here, topped the cake. Went in there, was perfectly fine. It was a nice summer night. Was sitting there, man. As I was sitting there, it's like everybody panned out. Everybody was laughing and talking. I was just sitting there like, and I started hearing him sounding muffled. And it's like, I was zoomed in the room, and it was like, man, this is so fake, man. I was just sitting there like my frequency was off with everything. After that, man, I was like, man, it ain't no darn way in the world I'm gonna come somewhere and I'm physically getting hurt, and I don't even know why. And I was doing perfectly fine, working out every day and eat good and eating organic food and stuff. And after that, man, I was like, man, nah, hell no, like there's no way. And I hadn't even started doing
is between, because I can't pinpoint it because I didn't grow up in the church. What do you feel like the difference is between Watchtower and the way that people are raised up in the church?
Well, you know what? I started, even though I don't do religion and stuff, but you know what? Let me tell you what people did for the church for my job, man. I know Watchtower would never do this, man. So Actually, I give people in church, I give them their props, man, because I used to always wonder, like, why they always got crosses? Like, it got to be something to it, or they all, man. I had them, I'll always donate, man. When I started realizing, man, they doing stuff for the church. If it ain't for some trip they going on to Hawaii and they actually doing something for the community to raise money, man, I'll buy the food and stuff. Let me tell you, this church came out. We had 14 benches that, they had their men's group or whatever. They built all we did was bought the supplies. They built the 14 benches for us for free, man. This from the church. And for our after school program, we needed benches out there at our facility. They built 14 benches for us for free, man. They came out there in 2 weeks and built it. You think Watchtower would have done that?
No,
No.
they
You know what I'm saying? So,
you have to be a part of the organization in order for that to happen. But I mean, only thing they
exactly.
like Kingdom Halls, they don't really build parks and stuff like that for the community like that. And that's why, like, I feel as though like they don't need to have a tax exemption or anything like that, because how
Exactly.
fit in the community, you have, despite whether you can't totally agree totally on the whole church doctrine and everything like that, but they're still doing stuff, in a sense for the community. Like they're still building, building parks, doing stuff like that. And that's what I was trying to tell those witnesses that came to my door that time. Like, what are you all doing to actually benefit the community? When there's a hurricane comes, are you going to really help this person that's next door that's not going to the Kingdom Hall? Are you going to help that person when their house just got destroyed? Or are you just going to sit there and ask that person, well, did you go to the meeting on Sunday before the hurricane came? Are you going to help these people? And that's the problem that we have here today. And I feel as though, like, a lot of people that didn't grow up in the organization, they really don't understand. Like, this is how it really is. Like, it can be really, really cold-hearted. If you didn't do this for the organization, they're not going to do certain stuff for you. Now, I will say this, is that, my parents, they have, it's kind of like in the middle. They won't go out to eat with me, but I can still come to the house. And this goes to show you there are different levels of shunning when it comes to the what comes to how people interpret the doctrine of Watchtower. There's different levels to it. Some people will actually not talk to their own daughters that's at the supermarket going to talk to them. Versus some people, they actually will like still converse with their loved one that is this fellowship. And I think that, well, I don't know how your situation is with your, well, I kind of forget from time to time. If you want to elaborate a little bit on that a little bit.
Yeah, that's one thing I do give up to my mom, man. Like, I think at one period of time, she kind of was heavy on the little shunning part. We kind of had like a little negative period in there. But for the most part, man, my mom always talked to me, man, because when I really started doing my research and talking to her, man, she said, I be listening. She said, I could I always knew you did your research. So she's like, I can't come back on and say nothing about that. But, I just believe, this is true. I'm like, you just agree with me. How can you agree with me when it's against what you believe? But, she just stuck. But my mom, I can call her regular from time to time. But if I do go see her or she comes see me and witnesses come around, she will be trying to duck and hide like the CIA looking for her. See, that's the only thing, you know what I'm saying, that I don't like. But like you said, it's different levels. Like, because my mom know me, man. Like, she know me just like other disfellowship people that will talk to me because they know me, man. They know what I'm about. They know I ain't changed who I was, and you know what I'm saying? It ain't got nothing to do with that. But yeah, it is different levels. Like, she would talk to me all the time, but there's still a level. But they will still do more. But like, if you got a worldly, so-called worldly sibling who out doing all kind of stuff, they done cause your family all kind of trouble, they'll still do more for that person than they will for you, who once used to be a Jehovah's Witness, but now is disfellowship. It's still like a little bit of I don't know if that's level 2 shunning or whatever you want to call it, level 2.0. But you know what I'm saying? It is a different level. Like, how can you hang with, be with this person all the time? They can go around your JW friends. Oh, yeah, this is my son. But if I go around and say, oh, he used to be a witness. Yeah, he used to be. Then all of a sudden the conversation get all low. Well, he used to be. Like, man. Well, I ain't going to say what I wanted to say, but but I'm like, man, bump these people. They wouldn't even give you the damn burnt chicken wing, the little tip part if you ask them for it. You know what I'm saying? But you ain't shun your child and stuff and they don't know nothing about your child,
Yeah, the
All they
whole
hear is, oh, they
the
go.
whole
That's
Shannon
all they hear. They start thinking,
is crazy. The whole Shannon thing is, and I mean a lot of that stuff.
like my mom didn't even.
You go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, you can go ahead. My mom didn't even know. She been in it since '75. She didn't even really know that you can get this fellowship for asking questions.
Oh yeah,
Like I couldn't believe she didn't even know that. Yeah, a lot of them don't know that. They just think of, they been out there wanting to be worldly and rebel and want to go out there and commit fornication and adultery. And most people got this fellowship ain't even got nothing to do with that.
yeah, yeah. You're not
But
supposed to ask
they don't.
any kind of questions like that. And the whole blood doctrine, that's one of the things that just really killed me. 'Cause I think we was talking about it a little bit over the phone. I think it was like yesterday about the whole entire thing of ingesting blood. And my thing is like today I had
Yeah,
to believe because whenever I have sinus infections, I guess because I be blowing my nose too hard, or something like that. But they say you're not supposed to ingest blood. Well, today, I had a nosebleed, and obviously some blood went down into my system. So did I just violate some law? My thing is if you get punched in the nose and blood goes down and through your throat, you just ingested blood. Have you broken the law now? And so my thing,
yeah,
this whole entire thing, they've taken it really wild because I think it was in Sydney, Australia. You had a woman that was pregnant and she had treatable leukemia, but she chose not to get a blood transfusion, and she and her baby died. And that's two right there. And that's just crazy. It's madness. Modern day sacrifices. That woman did not have
yeah.
to die at all. All she needed was her to get her treatment. That was it. And she didn't get it because of this doctrine. I would feel really bad if I were to lose my mom and my dad. They were to get into an accident, they need a blood transfusion. And then you have some people, the liaison committee, they come up there and they're like, well, we don't want, they come up there, with that whole thing. Well, they can't take blood, their blood card and everything like that. And so then you lose your loved ones because of all this. When they can be here with you and they can
Man,
still go into the meetings despite where there are views on, but they can still be here just for getting a blood transfusion. Like let the doctors take care of them. A lot of people can still be here. Like those children that they had on the article, on that Weight magazine that came out some years ago, saying that they gave up the precious price for something or whatever. Those children didn't have to die like that. They didn't have to. When their lives their lives could have been saved.
if you think about it, if that was the only way that Jesus would give his blood life, he would give blood transfusion to everybody if that's the way it had to be done?
They
I mean, think about it. I mean, come
back then, man.
on. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's sad, man. Like, and then you see the video where Sammy Hurd talking about, yeah, give your precious gifts to Jehovah. Man, he outright telling you to sacrifice your kids because this is what's gonna happen if you give your children to Jehovah. They're gonna have to follow the rules, or else they're not, or else they're gonna get this fellowship, and they rather die than get this fellowship.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
That's just it's just crazy, and it's just some conjecture. So, you gave how you feel about, excuse me, let me start over. I mean, you talked about a little bit how your life is now, and just for I see I got 12 people that's in the chat. Not too many, but it's pretty cool. But the way that my life is now, I mean, I wouldn't trade it for anything. I'm married, beautiful wife, beautiful kids. I mean, all of it is just applying yourself, and I mean you've done that just as I have, and that's why like connected, and it's very crazy we connected because I mean you have some goals and think we're both striving to make our lives better, and we actually like put a slap on the whole entire your life goes to shambles when you get this fellowship. You know what I'm saying? Like all that stuff that we were told that's supposed to happen to you, it hasn't happened. When I got this fellowship, honestly and truthfully, my life got better. It was like it happened really, really quick. Um, met somebody that was very intellectual, very profound in my life. Made me a better person. You know what I'm saying? Like things just start going up and up. But you see, it's kind of like this. What Watchtower knows that they do is that they have you in a certain environment. And then they know that, okay, once you leave this environment, they know that you're probably not going to be able to adapt. You're not going to know how to apply yourself. But when you actually start to do that, know what you want and know and strive to become greater, then that's when you beat the system. And a lot of people, I feel as though like they don't really know how to do that, because when they know that something's wrong with this organization. So when they get out here, some of them may go to drugs and everything like that, and they start having issues. Now, don't get me wrong. Let me back up here. I did have a little issue when I first left. That's because I didn't understand the environment. I didn't know what to really do. I didn't know what to look for in a person, in an individual. But once you get yourself together and you really start to apply the whole knowledge of self, and a lot of people don't know what knowledge of self is. Knowledge of self is defining yourself, knowing your values, understanding yourself, understanding your strengths, your weaknesses, and things such as that. And then once you're able to actually learn yourself, and you actually start to know what you want in life and try to apply yourself, then that's when things start coming into place. That's when you find balance. Once you get your life balanced, then that's when success starts coming to you. And I had to learn that. Like, I really did. It takes some trial and error, but obviously, we are the people that have really slapped in the face of the whole entire once you leave, watch how your life goes to shambles. Because from what you tell me, you're doing some great things. Would you like to elaborate a little bit more about what you, and then we'll probably close it out for tonight.
Yeah, man, like what I'm doing now, man, this is like the ultimate, man, especially in my community. It's called experiential outdoor education, man. And we work with these students, man. We take them camping. We take them out to the wilderness. We take them, you know what I'm saying? We teach them to have a voice. We teach them that there's no right or wrong. Whatever your truth is, that's your truth. Don't let nobody else tell you no different. So we give these students a chance to express themselves and let them know that they have a voice to be heard, man. And we listen to them, even to the point of if one of the students want to talk to me one-on-one. I tell them, let it out, man. You can say whatever you want to say, just me and you. I don't even care if you have to use profanity, man, because when I was your age, I wanted to and couldn't use it and had to have all those emotions bottled in. But those emotions are made to be let loose. And so, I have a chance to avert them from the watchtower youth I was and being held in and wanting to commit suicide, all that, man, and I have a chance to coach them, man, into being a mentor to them and let them know that you can be free mentally. Don't let nobody try to enslave you mentally, man, because that's the worst thing. Like, be who you are and don't be ashamed of what you know. And don't let nobody tell you you dumb and you stupid when you know what you know. So work it, man. And we just had a lip sync battle, man. And these kids put on the show, man. You know how much confidence that built up in these students, man, high school and middle school students. Like, people still telling us, man, that was an amazing show, man. And we work with them out there and we get out there and play with them and play bad games, and I'm old enough to be some of those kids' grandfather, and they appreciate that so much, man. It ain't nothing about no trying to enslave somebody to no religion. It's about teaching them about nature and finding self, man. And you're right. That's what it's all about, man. And then it's like building this therapy, you know what I'm saying? Enjoy nature, respect it, and learn something different, because adventure starts when you get out your comfort zone, and that's what we teach them. And, once you get out your comfort zone, then that's when you start opening up your brain to learn more things. We the ones who holding back, talking about we only using 10% of our brain. Well, we the fault for that. If you're only doing the same thing over and over again, well, that's the only percent of your brain you're going to ever use, that same routine in your brain. But when you venture out and get out that comfort zone, that's when you really start learning. So this one right here has been like, I've helped people with fitness, man, come out with my own lab invention, but helping the community like this, man, and, I don't know no other way I could have done it. Damn sure ain't no placing no watch time, no waiting magazines help anybody. Damn sure ain't never helped me.
Been all your time like, okay, yeah, we talk about, religion and the Bible and stuff like that. Yeah, we talk about that, but the thing is, like, how are you going to make your situation a lot better? You know what I'm saying? Like, how are you going to do that? That's another thing. What are you going to do for the here and now?
From here on out, man. Right now, it's getting better every day, man. The program I'm with, it just keep getting better and better every day, man. I'm still educating myself on this stuff, and it's like something to learn every day. Like it's like sometimes I know I have stuff to look forward to learn. You know, every time we go out in the wilderness and go camping, man, like I try to think of more ways to help more of the students coming up, more of these children coming up, man, and new ideas just keep popping up, man. Whatever new idea pops up, man, I go for it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Hey, I can do this. You know what I'm saying? Like a new idea come up, a new invention idea, man, I hop right on it. Hey, I can do this. Like, I don't fear about what I know, and I don't fear what I can know. Like, I just take the bull by the horn and go with it, and I don't have nothing holding me back. I'm too strong to let somebody come and tell me what I can and can't do. Like, that's the biggest thing. And every day I try to be a better me.
I'm having a little sinus infection right now. My nose is kind of bleeding a little bit. Just for the record, I know it's kind of nasty, but I'm not trying to pick my nose, people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, these allergies, these summertime allergies are something else. You know, something else. But let's see what's going on in the chat, and I'll just probably just close it out. But Southern Boss Lady says the Watchtower and Wake are not inspired magazines. They are so worthless. And we have someone just tuned into the chat named Jerry Petrie. This is the individual that I was talking about earlier who chose to marry me. You know, so everybody say hey to Jerry Petrie. I don't know why she has Petrie on there. She's supposed to be a Taylor. She hasn't changed her YouTube yet. So what she's doing in the chat, I do not know, but she's very much welcome. Yeah, she says hey to all. So, yeah. True A&R says water purification, fire starting are good skills. Yes, they are. So, I mean, she might as well, you know, she might as well come in here and, I mean, we're in the same house. I mean, she might as well come in here. I don't know why she's just sitting there. Yeah, but this is what it's all about, people. You know, when you leave Watchtower, and it just amazes me at how when I first started out, when I first left, I did get the rough end of the stick. In other words, it was very tough. You know, trying to piece together my life and everything like that, trying to pick up the pieces because I never did try to even do anything for myself. You know, I didn't know how to take care of myself. In other words, I was used to always trying to think what was on other people's hearts or read other people's hearts. I didn't know how to value myself. And, you know, and that's one of the things that people have got to learn. And another thing when you choose to, and this is all because I'm married, and this is another thing about when you leave Watchtower, and I'm known for my dialogues with other XJWs when it comes to the whole entire thing about the holidays. You know, despite whether or not what you subscribe to, if you're listen to your mate, if they, and I had to learn this is something that I'm trying to work on. If they value holidays, make sure that you do something for them. And this is something that I am trying to work on because we grew up not celebrating holidays, and it's really hard to really get into that spirit of the holidays. Like it really is. You go through your whole entire life not doing anything like Christmas time. You know, Christmas time we didn't get nothing. You know, we didn't get anything, and we never did feel that so-called that spirit of giving. In other words, you know, how do you feel about the holidays now? You know, how do you feel about them?
You know what? I'm very, very less judgmental about it. Regardless of what I believe about it, whatever. You know what? When I do see people getting together for the holidays, man, you know, I actually smile about it now to see people, you know, giving and whatever, and you know, and families getting together. You know, that's what I look at it as. But Jed, you're right. It's very hard for me to get into that spirit, being that we've not done it for a while. And even when my mom was inactive and we did do it, you know, we was off and on doing it. So, you know, I kind of knew what it was about, but still for so long after that, not doing it, it is kind of hard to get into that spirit. But, you know, the point is I'm not judgmental about people doing it anymore. I mean, you know, you know what I'm saying? I'm you know, 'cause I'm hearing nothing. So if it's friends over for something, yeah, I'm going. I'm doing it. You know, I'm going to socialize, have fun. But if not, then, you
Yeah,
know, so be it.
yeah.
But I'm not
I'm trying to
judgmental
get to
about
the
people who do it. I mean,
like just, you know, and it's not so much about me because marriage is that you have to be like, you have to join, you have to understand what that person wants and what you want. So you have to be on a common ground. And so that's the thing that I myself am trying to work on, you know, trying to put away my past and how I felt back then and really trying to, you know, make amends for, like, to try to understand, like, look, this is very important. You know, this is what, you know, this person is grown up doing, not me. It's not so much as about me anymore. You know, and that's one thing that a person who chooses to get into another relationship after leaving Watchtower, if you're if the person that you're talking to, that if they are interested in you, then you're interested in them, you're trying to make something with them, then you need to understand this person. You really need to value those things that they value. And that's very important because, you know, not saying that it's, you know, growing up Watchtower wasn't all too bad. I mean, we were able to really think about a person. You know, a lot of people have some good qualities, you know, from it, but it doesn't mean that person has to be indoctrinated. But, you know, it give us some good morals and everything like that, but not at the expense of a person's life and them giving up their talents and everything like that. But hope y'all understand what I'm trying to say.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, True A&R says, well, Eddie, because we both know, he says save money is the best. Have good family fun still, holiday life. It's Aaron thing says, I'm trying to find joy in it because my little boys love it. And so, yeah, that's like what I was saying earlier. Like, it can't be so much as about you anymore, especially when you have kids. Like, don't rob them of that opportunity. You know, and the same thing goes for your, you know, for a marriage mate. Like, don't rob them of that opportunity of, you know, you doing stuff for them. And that's something that even I myself need to work on. That's what I'm striving to work on. You know, I'm going to work on it. You know, I'm going to make myself better. You know, all that happened in the past with Watchtower, even the things that I do that I subscribe to now, you know, put that aside and just try to cater to this person's needs. Because if you really love somebody, then you're going to do all that you can to make that person happy. You know, and that's just something that, you know, that a lot of people need to understand once they leave Watchtowers, that when you meet somebody, don't be too selfish. Don't make it all about you and the issues that you had in the cult. You know, don't make it all about that. Don't make that become a dominant force. And I'm trying to work on that because that's the difference between growing up in a church and growing up in Watchtowers, that when you actually have images and publications forced in your face of people dying, meteorites coming out the sky, the dude that looks like freaking Will Smith laying on the doggone car. I think no, he was laying on the ground, dead. Look at dead people saying that this is what God's going to do. When you actually see that, saying it is one thing, but you actually see it, illustrations, that lays an impact on a child, and it really does affect them. Like, I'll never bring my kids to actually look at that all throughout their lifetime, because it damages them. It really does. And I mean, I don't know about you, but I used to have Armageddon nightmares and stuff like that. You know, did you experience that also too?
Oh yeah, be sleep at night and something fall off the wall and hit the ground. You think it's Armageddon coming. Hear some deep thunder and the thunderstorm. Oh, it's Armageddon. You're thinking it's Armageddon. Yes.
Yeah. So I
Yep.
mean, you know, that's the difference between, you know, the way that people grow up in the church versus Watchtower. Saying, like I said before, saying is one thing and actually seeing it is another. And so basically, like what I'm trying to get at is that what people don't really understand is that it was so pushed hard on us, pounding into us that when we leave, mentally we're kind of hurt mentally, like really, really bad. And it's really hard to function in society like that, and it takes work. Like I have been told, and my sister told me that you really need to see a counselor, and I encourage everybody to do that. Really need to do it. I haven't really got myself together to do it, but it's really important for everyone to talk to somebody, especially if you've been really hurt. We know of one individual that's out here right now that really needs to see a counselor. I don't have to say his name, but he really needs to see somebody. He really does, because the stuff that he posted online is not really. It's crazy. Like it really is. It's crazy. So the boss lady says, I had Armageddon nightmares all the time, even when I was recently waking up. Yeah, I had like one a couple of years ago. I think it was like I was flying above I think I was flying above in the sky, and I looked down, and there was a bunch of lava and stuff like that. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. But yeah, and we're about to sign off, but that's pretty much it. Essex, you know what I'm saying? I was happy that we could get this thing in. This was my first little Google Hangout, you know what I'm saying? That yeah, I'm happy.
You know what I'm saying? Stuff, man. The mind, man, is funny, man. And then there's some serious moments. And I appreciate all the people who was in, man. Who was in the comment section, man. Like it really let me get it out, and people can hear it from my mouth instead of just hearing it on comments of the stuff that really happened. Some of the stuff I never wrote in comments. I can only tell it, word of mouth, and it's stuff, we done laughed and talked about, but, to show people how crazy it is, I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and that was the whole my reason for wanting to do this, you know what I'm saying, just to give you all that just to share an experience, in other words, to try to get people to see like different people's stories and everything like that, because that helps in the healing process. Actually talking about it and actually putting it out there, that kind of really helped. That's why I started a YouTube channel, you know what I'm saying, because it really helped me, like, not, for one thing, I can't really talk to my wife too much about it, because I mean, when you start hearing the same thing over and over, you like this, okay, it's all this person talks about. But I'm able to just do a YouTube video. Sometimes I'll do videos on the way to work. I won't even post them, actually. Sometimes I'll do that. I won't even post, I'll just talk about it. And that kind of helps, because I need that, and every person needs that. And that's what I wanted to say, like, for those of you all who don't do videos and don't post them and everything like that, you could just hit the record button in the car, or just set it up and just start talking. Just talk about it. And self-talk helps you mentally. Like, it really does. Self-talk is a form of linguistic programming. It helps program your mind, helps bring up your frequency and everything like that. Actually getting that stuff off your chest. That kind of helps off. It helps. So that's pretty much all that I had. Hopefully, in the future, near future, very, very near future, we can talk about some other things. I didn't want to go in too deep, just yet. I like to do sometimes. All the talks we be having, we could have really set this place up, but or set it off. But it's getting kind of late, and I'm not gonna hold you up too much. But I'll talk to you later, King. All right, man.
Peace. I give you 2 thumbs up.
All right, then.